What is going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. Didn't even say you were here, but all good. It's 7:40 in the morning, so let's crack on with a quick video. So, what is this new analysis beta tool that you can kind of see here? So obviously, as per usual, the collection's always the collection, and there's activity, but they've got a new analysis tool, which is actually quite interesting. It's limited. That's probably why it's beta. It's limited. But what I feel they are looking to do, which would be interesting, is either have some sort of subscription to a more advanced model of Opensea, which could end up looking something like this, where it actually has the ability to actually kind of interact on a little bit more of a detailed level, stuff to do with rankings, mints, various things. Because it basically it has, I've lost my box now. Hang on, which one is it? Here, is this one? It has information which is very, very useful, but it doesn't have in-depth information. So, what can I take from this? How would I use this, right? That's kind of what you would probably want to know, right? So what you can obviously see is, you can see up here, last day, last 7 days, blah, 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 blah. So this is interesting. So I go to last day, you can see the 15 sales in the last day. Obviously the last 7 days, there is 46, it's down, but it's up in the short term. It doesn't mean it's going up though in price. So just because there's more volume doesn't necessarily mean it's going up, right? But good to know in terms of, it's interesting to see how many sales things are having so that you can see that, okay, why is there an increase in sales? Can we identify that? Blah, blah. So floor price, obviously, you can see here. Now, this is a line graph, and it's showing over the last, let's give it 7 days, just so it's a little bit easier, the floor price, right? You can kind of see it's around 0.57, 0.58 right now. And I don't know if you saw my video yesterday, but I actually picked one of these up for 0.52, I think. So that was kind of like I think it was around 0.6. It's gone to about 0.58 now. And what you can see down here is obviously the listings and the sales, which is actually quite nice because it splits it out quite easily, rather than sometimes in activity, it's a little bit sluggish when you want to see the sales more recently. Again, you can see here, it does actually come down, which is good, because the one thing I hate is where it kind of gets a little bit stuck. Again, you can kind of see the sales heat map here. Yeah, we don't really want to click that. Outliers is showing you random ones that are kind of like up at 1.3, but that was a bundle actually. And you might think, how do I know that? I actually looked at it yesterday because it said buy me and get dropped feed pics. It's quite funny. Price distribution, so that's quite nice. The price distribution is very similar to this one, where it has the floor resistance. It's not updating on this probably because I have to relog in, but it has floor resistance, which is similar to this, which is showing you basically how many are at what price. So in theory, it wouldn't take a huge amount to potentially get up here, 0.7 to 0.75, because what you can see is here's 3 listings, 7 and 5. So you don't really need a lot of, push, should we say, to get up to around this level. It doesn't mean it will get to that level, because as the price goes up, of course, people are going to start listing potentially. So as it got to say 0.65, people might start listing at 0.69, yeah? So obviously this could then end up obviously being, unless it's a quick buy. So, it's not impossible that there's going to be one person could buy 10, and that could be the collection owner, for example. So the collection owner usually buys back their NFTs at periodically if the price is right, and they might go and buy 10 at once. So it could instantly pop up to here within a minute. But again, like I said, you probably would, as soon as that has stopped, would see a little bit more. This would basically rise potentially up to like 10 or 15. But it's just, nice to know that if that eventuality happens, if that scenario played out, and so I know 5 to 10 got bought, you'd be up around here at least. Because with 5, you would be up at 0.62 maybe, something like that. Owner distribution is actually very, very useful, because the more single users there are like this, the better. Now, obviously, you want a little bit of a mix, because you want to have some kind of, what you'd like is some people to have more. For example, the collection owner to have NFTs of their own, so that they haven't just dumped them on the market, for example. If you dump them on the market, it's just like buying stocks at a pre-IPO price. And as soon as it lists on the stock exchange, you dump the stock, it crashes the price usually. And it's very volatile. That's what you don't want, but you don't mind it being the original owner, just like the original business might buy back shares. Kind of similar play to that. But this unique distributor of owners is actually really nice, because 84%, even up 2 to 3 isn't bad at all, a couple. So we've got 80, 90, 97% is up to 3, which means that if there is, basically it means it's reducing the potential for extreme volatility. It doesn't mean there won't be volatility. Things could happen, right? The person could die, for example, and people might just go and dump it. But it just allows that if someone's got 25, and they decided, you know what, I'm going to get out of this. I don't want to have my NFT, money in these NFTs. they could just go and dump those NFTs on the market. And the thing is, to list 25, you're going to have to really kind of push the price down in a sense, because if you've got 25 and there's only 46,000 a week, well, you're going to have to be around that floor price or even lower to get them gone quick. The faster that you want those NFTs to be gone, the cheaper you're going to have to list it to get people enticed to buy it at a discount. How for example, if I wanted to buy it, if I saw it go to 0.5 like that, because someone was just listing loads, that's enticing me to buy it because it's at a good price, right? Owners, interesting to look at. Obviously, Nifty Gateway is another portal, so just because it says 1,808 owners does not mean that the NFT is owned by this company as such. It just means that the NFT is on the Nifty Gateway portal. Same with many other portals where you can basically store your NFTs. Yeah, just like anything. So it basically means that you'd have to transfer it from here to your MetaMask to then be able to list it on, say, an exchange like Opensea. Okay, so it's not actually one person owning this; it's just the wallet owned by this. And obviously, then you can see some actual unique identifiers. This person has 91. So if you wanted and you were curious to see who this was, you could go in and actually figure it out. So it's quite nice. It's giving you another layer of information. You can go ahead and here, space enthusiast and blah blah blah. 1K collection. You can see it. Basically, I just sort of having a little browse there, but they've got a ton of them. This could be, I would suspect, the owner, one of the wallets the owner has. Not to say it is that, but it's possible. Then you could see, and they could have multiple wallets potentially. That's why it looks kind of like this. But just to be aware that sometimes if you're staking with a project, like if you are basically sending them your NFT to stake it, the wallet that holds all of those NFTs that you basically, when you stake, will actually show up as a high number. So you'll see that time to time. There might be one wallet that has loads. It's not like that wallet owns them all, but it's because lots of people have staked their NFT with that business, and that wallet is the beneficiary, I believe, of all of that, all those received NFTs, where it's basically stores your NFT and then gives you whatever back for staking. Okay, so it's just nice to have a look, and you can potentially find, is there any like blue chip holders, people that have Bored Apes, punks, blah blah blah, within here, and you can obviously, if you really want, you can go and have a look, and it just gives you like an understanding of what kind of people are invested in this project. So how do I see this moving forward? Potentially there could be a subscription, it could be free, they could develop this over time, and softwares like this probably will be potentially phased out. All these softwares will have to be tweaked so that it's not the prime function of these softwares, which is as in the prime function is not showing you the data. And actually this NFT, not this one here, but this one here, actually kind of come down a little bit yesterday, probably on the back of actually seeing something like this. This is the danger with softwares. I've been in the software before, and because the API changed on OpenSea, they basically had to start from scratch the way that they were feeding the data into their platform. And so there is issues that are coming from being a third-party software. Ultimately, it just depends exactly what that software is trying to achieve and do. And there are other softwares that are more Chrome extensions, which aren't so bad because they focus on like rank, for example, and able to bid and buy and put wrap-teeth bids and stuff like that. So there's all softwares doing different things. Just be mindful of that in the future. One other thing I noticed, which is interesting, is that you can come down here and see. Well, you can kind of see it here. Like in the last 7 days, or whatever, there's been a bid accepted at 0.45, and you can see this one here, 0.4. Now I noticed that before, so it gives you an potential opportunities. So what you can do is you can come in here. You can either do it in here, which is activity. This person, well, I'm going to just remember this name for a second, right? 0.4, even though the floor is actually nearly at 50% higher than that. You can see all the bids here. There's lots of bids yesterday. I actually got a bid here, like this one. And if you go down here, there's 0.45, different person. Okay, so there is bids getting accepted at 0.45, and I saw another one. I think I saw it. Maybe that was it. I won't get down too far. Yeah, don't worry. But there's been two around the 0.4, 0.45, which is interesting because it means that, if you're being super cautious and conservative and wanting to really maximize value, and you don't mind spending a bit more time placing bids across the board on different collections, then you can potentially look to do something like that on this collection, because it seems that people are accepting bids because there's been a lot in the last day or so. So it's just something to bear in mind. Obviously, you can see here, last price this person bought it for was 0.16, so almost 0.17. And the thing that I like about this actually is usually there's a collection bid offer right here. And you click it and you basically bid on all these NFTs at once, like a wrap-teeth bid. But it's not on here, which actually is quite nice because you can go ahead and manually do it, which means that there's potentially a lot less competition in terms of the offers, because if you go into some of these, then they haven't all got the same offers available. This is 0.511. This is 0.555. I've still got me there. I don't know why, because I haven't got any money in there, because I bought one. So the money's now gone, but it still shows me. It's weird. I thought usually that disappeared, but okay. Basically, no one can accept this because my balance is below that, because I already placed and had one accepted. But it's just a nice thing that, to do, like just look around and be aware of what bids are kind of on the collections or on the different NFTs, even if it's the same thing. Because you usually have a mass bid where basically everyone clicks that and it's kind of in a good list. When here, it's in a little bit of a skewed list almost, where you can potentially bid on some of them for a lower price than what others have been bidded on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, do I like this? Yeah, it's quite nice because it's integrated into Opensea. The only issue is obviously it's a little limited. It does give you some information like volume and price. I quite like that. Last 7 days, obviously the number of sales in the last 7 days is down, but in the short term it's up. What does that rise that? Because people are accepting wrapped ETH bids. As you can see from here, you can actually tell from here, and you can obviously look here and obviously look into side, like, what's the kind of average price, what's the median price, blah, blah, blah. Obviously price distribution here, quite nice. Ownership distribution is good and healthy. And then you could obviously research into owners to see what kind of people are invested into owners, because people that have blue chip NFTs usually are a little bit more diamond hands in terms of they are not so frivolous to sell if things are going down in price. Because, for example, Bordex was, I don't know, what was it, about 250 grand 8 months ago, and now it's about 70 grand. So, or 80 grand or whatever it is now, maybe 90. Fluctuates a bit. And so people like that are not so pressured into selling when something drops 100 grand in value. And so that's what you kind of want. Obviously, you'd have to go ahead and research what exactly is going on if you want to do that, or you could go ahead and use a third-party software like this and obviously look into more detail, because it will actually provide you further information. So it just depends on the complexity of detail that you are looking for. But for most people, this will be plenty. And it'll be interesting to see how this develops over time, because currently it is beta. So in my opinion, it will potentially provide you further detail, and they're probably looking at other softwares like that to actually get a feel for, what can we do? Maybe they're going to add some sort of like a subscription for a more in-depth analysis tool, because why not? If it's their data anyway, and it's free for them to collect, and they can collect it, faster and better, why not potentially create some sort of subscription service based off of that to increase their revenues and so on and so forth. So I'm going to leave the video there. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.